There is a sound in your own home right now that, if understood, could have instantly called every bird to your yard. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, because what you're about to learn will change the way you look at every human interaction with the natural world that attempts to communicate with animals. Today, we're going to talk about something that most people find genuinely difficult to believe the first time they hear it. There existed a universal bird call, known and mastered by ancient cultures, that could instantly draw nearly every avian species to your location. We're going to walk through 4 reasons this remarkable communication method was so effective, what enabled its power, and what that means for our modern understanding of nature's hidden languages. And we're going to end with something that I think a lot of you will find deeply moving, because it touches not just on our lost connection to the natural world, but on the very fabric of consciousness itself. Stay with me from beginning to end, because reason number 3 is something modern science is only just beginning to grasp using neuroacoustics. And the final reason, number 4, is the one that changes everything. Number 1, the primordial echo, a universal gravitational pull. You know the feeling. You've heard a bird call that sounded unique, perhaps even a bit strange, and then you saw a flurry of activity as other birds reacted to it. Modern ethological studies, especially those in bioacoustics from institutions like the Cornell Lab of Ornithology and the Max Planck Institute for Ornithology, have shown that many bird species share a surprising number of core acoustic elements in their communication. These are not words, but fundamental sonic building blocks linked to primal survival instincts, warning of predator, discovery of food, or indication of safe haven. What this means for you, if you've ever wondered why certain bird calls seem to carry an almost magical weight to them, that is not coincidence. That is an echo of a deeply embedded, shared language within the avian world. Pay attention to what you hear when you step outside tomorrow morning. Are the calls chaotic and disparate, or are there underlying rhythmic and tonal patterns? That sonic tapestry is their verdict on you. Number 2, the hidden frequencies, a call beyond human hearing. Some might assume this ancient call was merely clever mimicry, but that misses a crucial dimension. Many animals, birds included, perceive frequencies far outside our auditory range. Research into avian infrasound communication, particularly in large birds like the great bustard, suggests they use extremely low-frequency calls to communicate over vast distances and even through physical barriers. Imagine a sound that isn't just heard with the ears, but felt throughout the entire body of a bird. The lost call likely contained such sub-audible components akin to an internal vibration that triggered a physiological, rather than just an auditory, response. What this means for you, if you have ever found yourself feeling a subtle presence of wildlife nearby, even when you haven't seen or heard them clearly, that is not imagination. That is your own ancient sensitivity to the unseen frequencies of the natural world, echoing a time when such perceptions were vital. But what comes next is something even most ornithologists don't know. Number 3, the archetypal beacon, signaling prosperity and safety. Researchers didn't think this was possible until very recently. Early human cultures had an intimate understanding of their local ecosystems, identifying keystone species, organisms whose presence indicated a thriving environment, abundant food, and relative safety from predators. They observed that when these keystone birds called in a specific way, other birds flocked. Modern ecological studies confirm that certain indicator species create a halo of safety and opportunity. The lost call wasn't just a general sound, it was likely a perfectly replicated sound profile of such a keystone species during a moment of profound well-being, calling freely, feeding abundantly, or nesting successfully. That specific sonic fingerprint broadcasted a universal all clear and feast here signal. What this means for you, if you've noticed birds in your yard acting more relaxed or abundant when certain species are present, that is not just their proximity. That is a direct response to a deeply ingrained biological signal of trust and opportunity. Number 4. The language of intention. This is the one that changes everything. Beyond frequencies and specific mimicry, Ancient peoples understood that communication is not just about sound, but about intention and consciousness. Pioneering work in biosemiotics and the study of collective animal behavior, like flocking and murmuration, increasingly points to a form of non-local communication, almost a shared empathic field. The lost call might have been less about an exact pitch and more about the purity of the human intention behind it, a resonance of respect, curiosity, and peaceful invitation that transcended simple auditory cues. It wasn't just a sound, it was a felt connection, almost a broadcast of goodwill that avian minds, highly attuned to subtle environmental shifts, instinctively gravitated towards. If you have ever found an animal responding to your calm presence, even without you making a sound, that is not coincidence. That is a glimmer of this deeper, more fundamental language of life that we have largely forgotten how to speak. I've saved this one for last because it belongs last. Everything we've talked about today has been about vibrational resonance, hidden frequencies, archetypal signaling, the science of what animals know and how they know it. And that science is real, and it is profound. But for many of you watching this, the moment you find most difficult to explain and most impossible to forget has nothing to do with a study. Before I go, I want to ask you something, and I genuinely want you to answer in the comments below because this community has shared some of the most moving stories I've ever read, and every one of them matters. Have you ever had an experience with animals or nature that felt like a direct, undeniable communication, almost as if you understood a language without words? A moment that stopped you, that you thought about since? Tell me about it. What animal was it? What was happening in your life at the time? And if you found something in this video that you didn't expect, something that made you think of someone, share this with them. Or share it for them, because sometimes the right words at the right moment are exactly the thing. Thank you for being here at the Primal Ear.